So thank you guys for coming to our annual investor happy hour. Yeah. Yeah. I think, wait. Actually, I'm not sure if it's annual, but I think I just committed to annual. So coconut shrimp for everybody next year. All right. So thank you guys for coming. I'm glad you guys, it seems like everyone's enjoying some food, some drinks. There is a 2-drink minimum for anybody who brought their checkbook. Just, you never know, Trevor might be, you never know. I'm just kidding, I'm kidding. I think, am I kidding, Trevor? No? Okay. All right, no. So what's our purpose? Our purpose here today, honestly, is to just thank you guys for your investment into Watershed Company. Our goal has always been to create a great business. And the focus of our business has always been the people. Our desire is to have a company full of great people who have a passion to love and serve. And you entrusting us with your money to do that has allowed us to not only invest in so many, we'll talk about it, but so many employees and people's lives, but that they then turn around and serve our company extremely well. And so we believe that we have a very successful business today, thanks to your hard-earned money that you're entrusting us with. And in turn, we invest in our employees, and they're sharing that same, their passion for love and people, and it makes its way out into the car wash industry. So that's always our goal. We just want to thank you guys, and that's what tonight is really about, just to say thank you for entrusting us with your hard-earned money. So thank you. Yes, round of applause for that. So what we will go over today is we'll talk about 2022 and all the accomplishments we had. There were some struggles and some challenges that we persevered through that we will share with you. And then, so I'll talk about some statistics. Craig's going to come up and talk about development a little bit. And then Trevor's going to come up and chat as well. And then we'll do a quick Q&A at the end if anybody has questions. Okay? When you came in, you should have received this booklet. Anything that we're going over today is going to be in your booklet, okay? But just to kind of walk you through it, there's just an opening letter with some statistics in it for you. And you will see some of the funds that we've developed. These packets are individualized for you. Whatever investments you have, whatever funds you're invested in, you will see breakdowns of what car washes are in those funds, how much committed money that you have for those funds, what's been paid out on those funds. So this is just something that you guys can glance over and take a look at. So because of the number of people that we have, I know there's going to be a lot of questions. So if you look at your personal portfolio, the way we're going to break this up, if you have questions, if you look at the lower right-hand number, if that's a black number, Craig's happy to answer any of your questions. If that's a red number, Trevor's going to take care of those, okay? Is that good? Okay. Hopefully there's no red numbers, everybody, okay? But as you go through that, you'll see that there's information on each of your funds, breakdowns, a lot of great details. One thing I want to point out that actually one of you savvy investors pointed out to us is on one of those spreadsheets on the FastPass membership, it's actually that second page that has 28 open sites. We just realized that those monthly memberships in 2022, 2023, those numbers got tweaked somehow. So we'll update that tomorrow, and you will all get an email out with information on this presentation and updates on that. So we will update that information for you. Sound good? And everyone said? Yeah. Yeah! All right. One other thing. If you look on your table, sorry, I'm wild. I know. I'm sorry. If you look on your table, you're going to see cultural cards. So those are pictures of some locations that we have, and they feature the manager who runs that location. On the back of the card, you'll also see just a little blurb on these people. it's amazing the impact that your money has had on these people and these people's lives and what they then do in turn. And their stories are incredible. Where they came from, their struggles, given an opportunity, and their belief in our vision and serving people. These folks have been busting their butts to make these car washes profitable. So if you want to take a look at those, they're just kind of fun to read. And if any of you guys are ever in Oklahoma or Texas and want to chat with one of the managers, we can at any point in time happy to set you up with them to talk to. Okay. All right. So real quick, 2020 prior to 2022. What's going on here? Sorry, my drink. Prior to 2022. These are some of the locations that we've had open from Texas. In 2022, we opened up 10 new locations. We opened up 6 in Oklahoma and 4 in Texas. Now, most of you probably realize this, but previously, the largest number that we actually opened up in years prior were 6. We opened up 6 locations in 1 year. That was the most we'd ever done before. 2022, amongst some challenges, we were actually able to open up 10 different locations. How did we do it? We had an install team that you guys probably heard of last year. These guys are amazing. Some of them live in Chicago. Some of them live in Oklahoma, Arizona, Texas. These guys, on a dime, hop on a plane, fly to the location that's needed to get up and open and operating. They get on there, get in the ground, spend 2 weeks there, getting this car wash from a empty tunnel to a completely renovated, ready to operate tunnel. The install team, they're amazing. So we took a lot of that stuff in-house, have been able to save some money, cut some costs, and provide some opportunities for the install team. So that's how we've been able to keep up. Craig's going to talk a little bit more on that. We actually now have 330 employees now, which is amazing. It's really incredible. So all these sites are opening up. We're hiring a ton of people. One other thing we had to do is we realized we got to start bolstering our corporate operations to support the field. So we hired in 2022, we hired staff accountants. Where's Lynn? Is Lynn here? There's Lynn. New controller to lead the way. Where's Sarah and Bobby? Bobby and Sarah. These 2 lovely ladies. Round of applause. These ladies put everything on for us today. Amazing. So we hired a really amazing corporate team to help support our operations in 2022. So we are looking forward to what's ahead in 2023. So you guys will have this in your packet as well. The funds, where you're at, what locations are in each fund when they open. By the way, these are the numbers that are off that we'll get taken care of. Okay? And then one other thing that I just wanted to share with you guys before I hand it over to Craig. The car wash industry, it's built on this reoccurring revenue, right? We have an incredible Salesforce team that we've created. These folks are just hungry. They love to sell. They love the program. And so the goal is to have as high a recharge as you can every month. It's that reoccurring revenue. It gives some stability to the individual locations. And so when we were in Arizona, we were fortunate to have one location that we put everything behind it. We said, can we get to a $200,000 per month recharge? In other words, every single month, back then it was the beginning of the month, can we get to $200,000? And we were able to do it at one location here. Well, God love them, the team that we have out there said, we have some really great sites. I think we can do it. I was like, all right, guys, what do you need to succeed? So they put our Salesforce team together, like, let's put a marketing play out there. Let's just go at this thing for the next 3 months and see what we can do. Not only were they able to do it in one location, they said, I think we could do it in the second location. So 2 locations last year, Pat Booker and Southeast Military, both surpassed a $200,000 monthly recharge, which is absolutely unheard of in the industry and something that I just really wanted to share with you guys. Really a big accomplishment. So Craig's going to come up and chat about some development now.
Thank you, H. Again, thank you for everyone for taking your time to show up and have some free shrimp and cocktails and listen to us for the next 20 minutes. I do want you to know how appreciative we are that you would entrust your hard-earned funds with us. We don't take it lightly. Oftentimes, seasonally, I lose sleep over it, so it's always on our mind. We're always collaborating. We're always trying to do and think what is in the best interest of our investors. So from the bottom of our heart, we appreciate you and we thank you for taking a risk with the boys over here. And I can't believe that it's already been a year since we met last February. And we talked about some of the challenges that we were going through last year. And it ended up being a great year. We had exponential growth. We actually grew by double the sites that we had ever grown in history in the last 13 years we've been doing this business. Typically, for 5 years, we were growing by 6 sites, something we could handle. Last year, we did 11 sites, and this year, we plan to do another 11, 3 of which we've already opened, so we're well on our way. But these are some of the car washes that we like to say we polished a turd. Well, these things were in pretty bad shape. This is 29th Street. So this was the Victory Wash. We bought 5 of these washes that looked pretty much identical to this one. And this is what we turned them into. They were brand new equipment packages. We added parapets. We added our bright blue and green colors, vacuums, pay stations. It was almost a complete redevelopment. And we're actually pretty proud of the way these things turned out and what beautiful curb appeal they have when you drive by them. This was another one on 39th Street. We didn't do as much here, but we added paint. This is a great location. Here's another Victory that we opened up in October. This was an old car wash that was built probably 7 years ago. This is one of our best in Oklahoma City. It's in Fund 3. This is Eastridge on the east side of Oklahoma City. It looked like a bank before with bank tellers, but it actually wasn't. It was a functioning car wash. Just didn't look like one. And then this was one of our best on Independence on Penn Avenue. This was a major transformation, as you can see. So you can see that we have our brand colors and they all look the same. So I think we're at about 9 or 10 locations there in Oklahoma City. Last time we talked about some of the challenges that we had, not only because of the growth we had, but because of the kind of growth with a lot of the remodels that we had. And if you remember from last year, we decided to self-perform all of these remodels. What does that mean to self-perform? It means that we didn't hire a GC, that we actually took all the work. We hired the subs, we managed them, we scheduled them, we paid all their invoices internally from here in Arizona. As you can imagine what a monumental task that was. We've never built anything in Oklahoma, but here we go out there, we can't find any general contractors, so we said the best idea is to go self-perform. Well, to get this engine up and running, it just took time. We didn't have any relationships with subcontractors, so it just took months of getting guys on board, finding out that they're not the right sub. We got to go back to the drawing board, try and find other guys through referrals or other people that we know. Finally, we gained traction probably third quarter of last year. And now we have these great relationships with subs. They're ready to show up for us. And the way you build a great relationship with the sub is you pay them on time. Yeah. So we have Tammy, Jamie running our accounting and just do a wonderful job walking these smaller subs through all the paperwork, all the insurance, holding their hand, making them feel comfortable, not making them feel stupid. So it just takes time to build that relationship. And finally, we built that relationship with our subs, and we have somewhat of a well-oiled machine. So as we're finishing one of our, well, I guess we probably have 5 more remodels that we'll be finishing up come April this year. So we're doing 5 more remodels in Texas, one in one in Austin, and then we're doing about 3 new builds. And so one of the great things about self-performing is the benefits is we could control the schedule, and the greater benefit is we saved hundreds of thousands of dollars. Scott and I figured we probably saved $100,000 to $200,000 per site per remodel. So our basis in these, although we've not quite seen the numbers, which Trevor will talk about, the basis is wonderful in these. We've never been in car washing in the last 10 years like we are into our Oklahoma sites. And so one of the other difficulties that we had that H alluded to was our equipment distributor. We had outgrown them. He was trying to deploy people from here up to Oklahoma and trying to get our schedule matched up with his and keeping his guys motivated. The thing really unraveled mid last year. And so Scott took the task on and put together our own install team, which is, I think now it's 7 guys, Scott? 7 full-time guys. So we have full autonomy with these guys. We can schedule. We're more efficient. These guys are ready on a moment's notice to either go to Texas or anywhere in Oklahoma, and they're doing installs. I think they have 4 under their belt now, and they're going to have another 11. So they're getting better, and they're installing the whole tunnel, the whole equipment room, all the vacuums, from poly tubing, from the smallest air manifold on the wall to a big top brush. I mean, these guys are handling everything in between.
They did it better than the distributor.
They're doing it better than our distributor that we relied on for a decade. And so we're able to utilize them not only on the remodel side, but also the new development side. So in regards to our new builds, we broke 2 records last year. We never paid more for a site, and it never took us longer to complete. One of the challenges of growing by 11 sites, it was probably one of the worst times to ever do it because there was such a labor shortage. So we were trying to overcome some of those challenges. And we had material, lead times that kind of threw our schedules off, the labor shortage, and it was just a difficult time to get these things built. But the great thing is one of the successes that we finally had is we closed out this year. We've closed out Fund 3, which was our last site, 59th Street, which was a remodel. So we got full Fund 3 completely built out and opened and starting to stabilize. We opened up our last site last Friday, and I think we have about 550 members. And then in the last few weeks, we opened up our first 2 sites of Fund 4, which is San Angelo, which is about 3 miles east of San Antonio. And we opened up our flagship car wash in San Antonio, which is built on 2 acres, 4 POS stations, and close to 30 vacuums. And in the last 2 weeks, we've sold 3,500 memberships there. And at our San Angelo site, 1 month in, we're at about 4,500 passes. So we're off to a wonderful start on those. And so we have 8 more sites to open up between now and the end of the year. We think a lot of our remodel sites in Oklahoma will be completed by early summer. And then some of the new builds were pushed out until about late September, Scott. Maybe October, bleed into October. So we got a full schedule this year, and I'm available after if you have any specific questions you want to ask. But again, we thank you. We're working hard. We're growing fast, and we're not taking anything lightly. So we appreciate you all.
Good evening, everybody. Thanks, H. Thanks, Craig. I'm not going to take a lot of time, but I'm just going to talk real high level on what to expect for this year, especially I think for all of you that are invested in Fund 3 and Fund 4, just kind of when can we expect hopefully to see some distribution start happening. And I know that we anticipated we would have started distributing in Fund 3 last year, and that's not happened yet. And obviously because of a lot of the delays in getting the sites up and running, it's really pushed things back. But as Craig said, all of Fund 3 is open. It's going to start cash flowing the sites, and really spring always seems to be our best time of the year. So we're really excited to have all these sites open and ready to go for springtime. And being conservative, we kind of updated all of our projections to see when we believe we will start doing distributions. And as of our best thinking today, we think it's going to be September for Fund 3. And then we believe that Fund 4 will start sometime early in 2024. So guys, I know it's frustrating and a lot of people are hoping to see the cash flow sooner, but that's just the reality. But even though you might not see the cash flow yet, trust me, these sites are becoming more and more valuable every day they're open. For those of you that were in Fund 2, I know one of the most difficult things we had to do for Fund 2 is that we had to do our first cash call because of the costs were just, starting to rise pretty quickly. And we did our first cash call. And, it took a little longer to get things going in Fund 2, definitely not with some of the delays we've seen after the pandemic. But last year, Fund 2 doubled in value because of the increase in the revenues for that fund. I mean, it's our best fund. It's doing wonderfully. And we have high hopes for Fund 3 and Fund 4 that they're both going to be really good and do well. Please, if you've got any questions. Oh, sorry, not working. We'd be happy to answer them right now. So please, anything, ask away.
Trevor?
Yes.
Just maybe give your comments on how the competitive landscape is evolving in the car wash space, what you're seeing in the markets we're in.
Sure. When we first got in car washing, it was a great time to get in because it was not very competitive. But now it's certainly gotten very competitive. A couple things I've noted. One was when we sold in Arizona, that's one reason we wanted to sell, because we were concerned about the amount of competition in Arizona and how it was going to dilute our investment. And I couldn't believe, we used to say one car wash for every 50,000 population is a good number to be at. Since we've seen all this growth and seen the demand, I now think it's double that. I think you can have one car wash per 25,000 people, and they will continue to do well. So Texas, we're excited because we got in there before we saw a lot of competition come in, but it is coming in. But our numbers are holding, even in what is probably a little bit of a down economy. We have not really seen a lot. Maybe a slight downward movement, but because these are young sites that are still growing, they continue to grow. I just think that maybe selling a fast pass is a little more difficult today than it was a year ago. But then I also believe that has seemed to balance out over the past couple of months. We've really seen numbers at our site shoot up and do well. So it is getting more competitive, but we're doing everything we can to pick the best locations so that we're not too heavily impacted by the competition. Craig or Scott, do you guys have anything to add on that?
Calabre is a good example.
Pardon me?
Calabre is a good example.
Yeah, Calabre is a great example. So that was a site that has two competitors within a mile to a mile and a half. And we're pulling a whole bunch of tags off of the cars with our competitors because we have a superior location, a newer location, and everybody wants to use it. So we're not as concerned opening up a brand new, beautiful site next to some older locations. It bodes well for us. Yes?
So, like we can see in the storage, self-storage business, that was more fragmented, privatized. Now it's becoming more corporate. Is the car wash, is the competition now becoming more corporate, or is it still private?
Definitely becoming more corporate. You've definitely seen, when we got in this business, it was all mom and pop. There were a few guys out there that had, more than 15, 20 locations, but there weren't many. And today it is very difficult for a mom and pop individual to get into the car wash industry. Everyone's getting bought up by all the big groups, and you're seeing the consolidation in the car wash industry. Now, that being said, we're still on the front end of it. I'd say, we're in the second quarter. We still got the third and fourth quarter to go with consolidation. It's going to take several more years before, 70, 80% is the big business running the car washes.
Just real also follow up on that. So what you've done really well is selling the fast passes. On that, is that something that corporate is also following suit on and trying to really push that for their income?
No doubt about it. When we first got in the business, all the old school car wash guys did not believe that fast pass would be the way to go because they thought we're going to lose money. People are going to wash their car too much. We're young and naive. We said, we're going to sell this. We want recurring revenue. One of our mentors in the business when we first got in, he had a few car washes and had been in the car wash industry for a long time in Colorado. He's like, nope, not selling the fast pass, not going to do it. He has become, like everyone else, he realizes how good that is for business to have recurring revenue. And that has definitely changed in the industry. Everybody's trying to sell the unlimited. I think we've got one of the best models to do it and one of the best incentives because we're generous with our sales guys. If they can sell good, they get to reap the rewards. And I don't think most companies are bonusing the way we are to make. Once these guys they probably spoke about last year, it's like being in insurance business. They sell a fast pass, that customer stays. They get a little piece every month of that income. And we've got a couple of employees now that are making six figures selling car wash unlimited memberships. They're doing really well. They got golden handcuffs. They're not going anywhere. So, any other questions? Yes. No plans to go anywhere outside of Oklahoma and Texas at this point.
I was just going to ask about environmental issues, water issues. I know we're still on here in Phoenix, but any of those kind of concerns?
Environmental, no. It's a lot of people have always asked that. You'd be surprised. It's really not washing cars. The biggest issue you have is the sand and the oil and the stuff coming off the car when it gets washed. We have this thing called a sand oil separator that all the muck falls into that before it goes into the sewer. And a guy just has to come and suck all that crud out once every 60 days. Water, definitely something that I think everyone is a little concerned about. And one of the main things we're concerned is the cost of water. And in Austin especially, we're like, holy cow, when we're seeing our our water bills in excess of $10,000. We just installed a new system called Shock Water, and it's a recycling system where we're going to hopefully continue to use more of our water in the car wash so that we're not expending as many gallons every month. And that's hopefully, we're hopeful for 50% of using 50% less water, Scott. So we're excited to try the system. The guys offered to put it in and give us 90 days for free to make sure we like it. But if it does what it's supposed to, our payback will be 2 to 2.5 years on our high volume sites. So, yes, David.
Recycling last rinse or last two rinses all that?
Say that again.
Last rinse
We recycle, I think, Scott can answer this. We recycle the last rinse.
For our current system or the new
one shot?
Current or new? New.
So the new it's everything but the rinse is on recycled water.
Yeah.
Everything but the final rinse.
Yeah, the rinse has already gone through a spot free, and that's so that there's no spots on the car. And it takes 3 gallons of water to make 1 gallon of spot free water. We pull those 2 gallons and throw that out at the beginning of the wash. And we've been doing that for years to save on our water bills.
Yeah. Today it's about the inverse. We're probably 25 to 30% using reclaimed water, and with the new system we would be using 25 to 30% fresh water.
Yep.
It's flipped.
Yep. So we should see the cost go down, and we'll continue to install the system in all of our washes once the this 90 days confirms what they're telling us, which we're hearing it's true. Pardon me? Yeah, I think we'll do it slowly over time. It's a big investment, so we'll probably do the high volume locations, and then as long as it makes sense, we'll sell. I don't know that we'll do it with all of our locations, but our high volume certainly.
Yes, but every new site for the past few years have been installed with a reclaim system.
Yeah.
Maybe 25% of our water is reclaimed at most of our sites that we're using.
Any other questions? So everyone, thank you very much. Thanks for coming. Please help yourself to more food and more drinks. And we're going to be here for a while. So if you want to come and talk to us individually, ask us anything individually, please feel free. And we just thank you guys so much for your investment into Watershed. And have a good evening. Thanks.